Hey everybody, welcome back, and we are going to continue our figure drawing, and now it's time to get our shapes down for our female. All right, super similar to the male, obviously, but we want to look at those differences and what communicates to people female as opposed to a male body, all right? So let's look for those things, and let's get drawn. So for this, I don't really know the height of these people, so let's just go ahead and make her the same height. And once again, I'm going to start with my gesture drawing. And once again, sometimes those static gestures are really the hardest to get, like where somebody is just standing straight. There's not any great action lines to grab onto, but it's probably more important even now to draw a gesture drawing with a static pose like this. Well, it's always important. Who am I kidding? Okay, so there we go. And I can already see my asymmetrical drawing here. Okay, let's rough in her arms. I think she's standing a little bit with her shoulders back. Kind of looks a little stiff of a stance. Okay. Make sure I kind of got her in place. Okay, I'm going to give myself a line of symmetry now. I've got kind of my basic gesture kind of thrown down there. Okay, I'm not as off as I felt like I was. I'm going to make some corrections here. So one of the things, obviously, to start working in is to make her look female is her hips, right? So her hips are going to kind of come out and be a bit wider, and her chest shape here is going to be a little narrower, and we're just going to kind of slim our shapes down. Now, again, I know not everybody's the same, and I know not all males look like that, our other model, or all females look like her, but we're going, a general way to learn is to kind of go from a athletic build where you can kind of see a bit more of the muscle, and because it'll help us with a structure of a person. And then we can vary from there in terms of characters and weights and all that stuff. But this kind of helps us see what's underneath at our fittest, possibilities. And then, from there we can vary things. But it's important to practice all sorts of body types. But for a learning tutorial on how to draw people, this is definitely the place you want to start. Okay, so I'm starting to kind of rough in shapes here, and again, that's just kind of what I do, but I think I've got her situated fairly decently. Let me just double check my measurements, and again, I know the our midpoint was there, I think, with our guy, so roughly there. Again, I'm not gonna, I don't feel the need to quite measure it with a ruler, but I can do just get as good of an estimation with my pencil. So let's see, that looked a little off. It looks a little low. So actually it's slightly lower, somewhere around there for the middle. Okay, and her, the middle should be right about right between her hips. So I've actually got her legs a little longer. And when drawing your characters, things like that are, you want to vary those things depending on what character you have. If you want somebody to look more heroic, and you might lengthen the legs a little bit. So it's pretty much dead on halfway. All right, so I'm just lowering them a little bit, but I think I'll have to lower shoulders slightly as well. Again, you might not need to make these adjustments. Make whatever adjustments you need to make as you look at your drawing and take your gesture into account and make those calls. Okay, so her hand should be somewhere down here. Let me check my length here. Should be just under about halfway. That looks about perfect, I think, for her leg length. Yeah, just under halfway. All right, and we've already done this with a male, so I think we can probably go a little faster with a female. I always hesitate to say those things because in the end, I have no idea what the time's gonna look like when I get done, but let's find out. Okay, we are gonna draw the head. Our head shape. Oh, no, what am I? That was a test. That was a test for you all. No, it was a test. I messed up there. We want to start with the chest, of course, as I explained so much in the last video. Chest is our center of balance, right? So we want to start with our chest egg shape. And notice I've made hers a little slimmer than I did the male. And then we want to fit the head on there. And once again, I'm going to slim down the neck slightly, just so it looks more feminine. And yeah, our bodies do have differences, right? We've got differences. And as artists, we want to pay attention to those nuances and those general differences. Okay, so I got my egg shape for the head. Let's get some crosshairs on there. Got my neck. Okay, now working my way down to her waist. Okay, so we're gonna start a little more narrow, but then we're gonna come out for those hip bones, okay? So they're gonna come and bring our hips out a bit. And then we're gonna come in for our waist shape. Okay, from there, we're gonna do our legs. And again, we've got these slanted cylinders here. Which get more narrow. And again, just keeping everything a little more slim, a little more sleek to make it look more feminine. Doesn't necessarily have to be non-muscular, but muscles on a athletic female will tend to be, right? There's obviously female bodybuilders and, there's exceptions to everything, and very aware of that. But going with general tendencies, athletic build will tend to be a little more defined, maybe, or not. But the definition will be a little more subtle, I guess, and a little more, a little more narrow. So now, a thing to take note of this shape here is from the hips, when we come out, it continues out on the leg, and actually, on a lot. Hers are pretty, her legs are pretty narrow here, but it still will come out a little bit, and then at this point, it'll come back in. So it'll continue out a little bit, and then come back in. So it continues to get a little thicker, and generally, again, on the leg here. So I'm gonna kind of just start getting that going on my shapes a little bit. And go down to my lower leg, okay, my knee circles, sorry, I don't know if I mentioned those. And then my lower leg cylinders, which, I say cylinders, but the more you can make them not like cylinders and start getting those leg muscles kind of in there, the better. But still thinking of it like a cylinder here, round, the calf coming in, and then, a little rounder right here, and then more of a slight curve on the outside, getting that tibia bone kind of slanted out like that little bend in the tibia bone there. Same thing on the other side. Cool. All right, then I got my knee patella. I think it's the patella, right? Any anatomy students can tell me that. And got that little shape going there. Lastly, on the bottom here, I got my feet, which again, I'm using a sphere for the heel. And then I'm bringing kind of at somewhat of a triangular angle, this top part of the foot, which connects up a little higher, then goes down and gets flatter? I don't know. Yeah, I guess flatter. That's right. It is flatter. All right. Not too bad. Let's go back up to her arms. And I'm just trying to look at how they're a little wider than her hips. Not much. Shoulders. Whereas the guy's shoulders are much wider than his hips. Hers are a little wider. And that's just a frame, right? That doesn't mean she's not strong or anything. It's just the way frames differ. Maybe I sound redundant saying all those little, making clear that this is not every female, but, I don't want anybody to come away thinking that this is, the way everybody should look or does look. It is just a starting point to start drawing people. And it has been traditionally a starting point for figure drawing for quite a while. All right, so I got my upper arm cylinder here. I even do the elbow cylinder. Again, keeping it a little more narrow. And then I've got my forearm cylinder. Again, slighter curve on the outside. A little bit more of a rounder curve on the inside with the arms turned this way. Now that does change. Arms do rotate, so it can create some differences depending on the angle. With her wrist being right about even with the inside of her leg or her crotch. And then her hand, which I'll get the thumb, and then just get a general shape here. Got the knuckles going here, going out. Like that. And I got my thumb here. All right, there is our basic shapes for our female. Now, as I would do drawing, there's a few more things I would add. Maybe connect here. I would think about her clavicle coming from her shoulder and meeting at the top of the sternum right here, that bone in the middle of your chest. And then for the female, we're also going to draw her chest as well a little bit, kind of get those shapes kind of placed here. And we're going from the armpit right here. It's actually the chest muscle. And then out and around here. All right, chest muscle underneath. Okay, there we go. Something I didn't do on the guy, but you can also mark the belly button kind of thing, too sometimes. And stomach sometimes. But this is already starting to get the muscles drawn, but often I'll do that in the shapes just to kind of make sure it's looking okay. All right, there we go. There is our female. Another thing you could mark is a rib cage, especially if you can see it like here. And we got kind of a V, almost a rounded V shape kind of going here. Yeah, there we go. I should have done that on the guy as well, but I forgot. That's okay. Extra detail. All right, you guys, there is the female front view with the shapes. All right, let's start with the gesture drawing. Got her head. Got her chest working down here to her waist. legs, which slant back. Center of gravity kind of more here. And then her arms. Let's get this head a little better situated. It looks a little weird to me. All right, her arms go back here. And looking at her hand is about there. Elbow, arm. And again, you can see me roughing in those shapes. If you are doing that, that is okay as well. All right, her chest. Okay, let me make sure the knees are in the right spot here. I think I did a little low. Okay, got a really loose shapes drawing here. That's normal for one of my gestures. And now I'm just gonna go ahead and kind of clean things up. Take some measurements, but I know from all my other drawings here that I'm looking okay on those. Gonna just refine things a smidge. Make sure my neck is tilted forward. And let's see, got her chest here. Knee here. Leg shape there. Okay, I think I'm ready for some shapes. So once again, not starting with the head, starting with the chest. Trying to draw light here because I know my arm's gonna go on top. And once again, I'm kind of tilting it back a little bit. So I get this kind of rounded back here. All right, then I'm going to her waist. So I've got my kind of shape here. Got her backside. Something like that. Then the leg. And let's see, so my leg cylinder kind of goes in like this a little bit. Actually, then goes up and connects to the hip bone, which is kind of a nice connection, but we're getting to muscles there. But I kind of like to see that little detail. Okay, bringing the leg cylinder in towards the knee. Space for my knee here. Then I've got my lower leg cylinder. So I got my calf in the back. So straight in the front, rounded in the back, coming down to my foot, heel. Then I'm bringing out my triangular kind of shape here for her foot. All right, there we go. Something I didn't draw was her other foot, but I can barely see it. So I'm just gonna kind of rough that shape out there like that. There we go. Can't even see it behind the other leg. All right, back up to the head. Oh, I totally neglected the head. That's okay, as long as I didn't draw the head first, and I'm fitting it on the chest. So I got my rounded skull here. And then bringing it out to the front of the face, coming kind of more straight down, a little bit back, tilted back a little bit. There we go. Eye line, just because. And then to her shoulder. And once again, all those measurements that we did in the proportions are there for reference, are there for corrections. Every body part I draw, we don't need to measure. The big ones are the arm length, the leg length compared to the body, maybe the head size and all that. But other than that, we just use those when we need to, when something feels off. Okay, I'm gonna rough out a little like rhombus, I think. I said it last time. I'm gonna stick with it and assume I'm right for the back of her hand. And I got her fingers kind of folding under like that, right? So I've got like this little mitten shape going. The mitten's a great place to start with a hand. All right, got those cylinders up there for the arm. And now it's just up to the few little details here. I'm gonna add her chest. Kind of round it here and connects up to the arm, right? This is the chest muscles. All right, and then we've got rib cage we can add a little bit maybe. If we want to add a little detail there, start cutting. It's almost like you're sculpting and starting to sculpt into your drawing here. And I'm gonna go in and then out. Usually the lower stomach kind of goes out a little bit and then goes back in. But again, we're starting to form it into muscles, and that's okay. Once you start getting your shapes, and I don't mind starting to get those things in there and kind of start seeing if things look like they're in place. But there we go. There are our shapes for our female profile. All right. See you guys next time.